Well, welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a good one tonight.
Good one tonight.
A good one tonight.
Was that a commercial?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
I remember. I can't remember.
We have, we're going to discuss a pretty good topic that I ran across. Of course, I try to keep up with the Morphew case every single day, and I had been following this for a while. And I ran across a video from a girl named Jill, the private investigator. She's got about 2,000 subscribers. And I encourage you to go over and watch her channel. She is coming on live with us. At least that's the plan. And I'm waiting on her basically to, I've sent her the link, and I'm waiting on her basically to come on live with us tonight. So we'll just hang out for a few minutes and we'll discuss a few other things before we get into this. Reddit has got a huge site on the Suzanne Morphew. It's about on just the topic of a girlfriend. There's over 400 different comments. I tried to get someone that from Reddit that are making these comments to come on and say why they believe this and what their evidence is, but they're glad to talk behind a computer, but they don't want to come on, and they don't even want to give me any information. So because it is a public domain and everything you put on the internet is for everybody to read, we're going to read some of those comments here tonight. I've given the...
I'm sorry. Lori wants to know what Reddit is.
Reddit is a app that you go and you join, and it's just basically a gigantic bulletin board. I know y'all heard about the GameStop thing where all of these stock traders, big time multi-billionaire stock traders, were trying to short the stock of GameStop. And if you don't know what short is, that is basically they're trying to bet the stock. It's legalized gambling. Basically bet the stock's going to go down over a certain period of time. It's called shorting the stock. Well, they attempted to short this stock, and Reddit guys got together on there, and they basically came together as a bunch of independent people, and they drove the stock price up. It was like $8 a share. It went up as high as almost $1,000 a share. So they kind of put the screws to a bunch of people. Lost mega money on Wall Street. And you're talking about big time investors did because they had that short. They shorted the stock. Today, Reddit was saying about the GameStop, and it went up to almost $180 a share. It's back down around 100 right now. I think 90 something like that. So it's a pretty good place to go and find out if what's going on, at least in the minds of people like us that are wanting to know what happened, what's going on with the Morphew case and the girlfriend that has apparently come to surface in Barry Morphew's life. And now we are all of these, and I have to say this again, this is purely our opinions. We have no hardcore facts. However, Jill, the private investigator, if I can get her, if she will, I've sent her this link, and hopefully she'll be able to come tonight and talk about what her information is. She had a ton of information on who this person was. And now I'm going to tell you another thing. We know her name. I bet Gonzo, I saw out there that I think you've said her name before, and there's one or two others out here that have said her name. We are not going to say her name on here. What y'all put in the comments and what people say out here, we might say her first name, but we are not going to say her last name, just because really, even though we disagree with the situation that how could a person with his wife missing go out and have another girlfriend less than a year later when she has not been declared dead? How can you do that? In my opinion, I wouldn't do that. I'll see your hand just a second.
Okay.
You know, so it may not, we can't say, even though we falter maybe ourselves, we can't really falter because we don't know what she's heard or what or her information she has gathered. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want any cyberbullying on her part by anybody, you know. And I personally have been cyberbullied. Every creator has been cyberbullied one way or another, and it's not fun. So I would just ask you not to put her name on here if possible, her full name. I do want to mention a couple of things. Medina has got a channel up, and I'm going to put the it is basically talking about our juicing that we are doing. And this is the channel here. I'm going to just put it in the narrative here. There you go. If you go to that, you can go and tell you all about how to juice and what we are doing and how hungry I am right now. So
we're on day one.
We're on day one, and I could eat a steak that big. But only bad effects right now is a headache. That's it. So you had your finger up. What were you going to say?
Finger up. I have Jay Stella has a question.
Okay.
Is it possible for YouTube creators and commentators to be questioned before a trial begins if it pertains to information regarding a certain case? Can you get in trouble?
Well, what we are expressing here, and we are acting as stating opinions, basically. If we know it as actual fact, in a court of law, say in a civil trial, fact is the ultimate defense. If you know it to be the truth, then, or you tell something, you make a statement and it is the truth, it is the ultimate defense. However, we are not going to make absolutes here tonight. We are going to tell you our opinion and what our investigation on our part has found out. And we can show you what Reddit is posting. And now, if somebody on Reddit is posting something that is defamatory, then sure, we may have a problem. Okay, Jill is with us. Thank goodness. I'm glad to see you, Jill. I'm going to turn it over to Jill, and she's going to tell us a little. First, Jill, I'm going to pull you in here with us. For whatever reason, the light, I think, is hold on, see how it does. Okay. Jill, my wife is in the middle. I'm on this end. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Take me out. She's got a bigger platform.
Okay, hold on one second.
Hey.
Let me take this little icon out of here. Whoops.
There you go. That worked.
No.
Well, it did on my end.
Now, why is it not? No, I'm trying to get that one little thing out of there, but I can't do it. Well, anyway.
It's just right here at the top.
Yeah, it's at the top. Okay. Jill, let me explain a little bit about who I am and where I came from, the background I came from, and then I'll let you tell a little bit about your background.
Okay.
I spent 33 years in law enforcement. I have worked in departments as small as 25 officers all the way up to 350 officers. I worked in divisions such as Organized Crime Bureau. I worked narcotics undercover back in the day when I was a lot younger and a lot thinner. And I worked robbery. I worked homicide. I worked a lot of different areas. I was in charge of narcotics unit for about 15 years. And I also worked a cybercrime task force with child predators, stuff like that. Busting and getting them off there. I've worked missing person cases, and I've worked in the field as an investigator and in patrol as a patrol officer. I did go to law school, and I'm not a lawyer. However, while I was in law school, I got my private investigator license, and I did a little bit of that just so I would have little ends meet type thing. I never did like it very much because I had too much cop in me. So it's hard for me to realize, hey, I'm a civilian. I can't do that.
Right.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jill.
Oh, well, I'm sure mine won't take quite as long. My resume is nowhere near as shiny as yours and as long as yours. It's just been, I guess you would say, a fascination of mine, the psychology behind it and what leads up to this day, what happened to bring it here. And also just the fact that there are so many families out there that are struggling so bad without their loved ones, and it pulls at my heartstrings. And since it's something that I enjoy doing, I take a lot of time and a lot of pride in it. And now I take a body language class online and a crime scene class. And I want to get my private investigator's license, but I think I might have to take a play out of your book and go to law school. The laws you have to learn to get your PI license is amazing.
Now, I know in Alabama, where I'm located, it's very easy to get your PI license. Really, it is. You basically go up there, fill out a form, make sure you've got bonded insurance on you, and basically that's just about it. I mean, they want you to have a little law enforcement experience or something in the education background, but they're not as stickler. I don't know where you are exactly, what state you're in. What state are you in now?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
And what I've observed from looking at and getting the study materials offline, it's intimidating. I'm not going to lie. It's very intimidating. And I think that's what's taken so long, is the intimidation holding me back.
Well, just go for it. That's what I say. I mean, you're young enough to do this thing. I'm retired right now, and basically, we started this channel because we just felt like we still wanted to have our kind of hand in the game. And also, I believe there's a lot of missing people that need attention, if nothing else.
And
now,
let me tell you something. You only fail if you fail to try. So get out there and do it.
Yeah, you can do it. And you're doing a great job now. I encourage everybody, if you don't know about her channel, it's Jill, the private investigator, I think is the name of her channel. Go over and watch her films. It's really good. I enjoyed the one I saw, and that's what attracted me to try to contact you today on the Morphew girlfriend. Now, that's what everybody's here to learn. Okay. So I told them about, prior to you coming on here, that I've been following Reddick, and I had to wanted to explain what Reddick basically was. It's basically a gigantic bulletin board where everybody uses a candle, and they say stuff. They're pretty much can say anything they want to, and they are moderated. However, I saw some stuff that was basically I wouldn't dare put out there. But regardless, what I said tonight too is, me and you know who this person is. I feel 100% like we do, but we're not going to say her name. Right. I don't want any cyberbullying. That's my main goal. So, but we might use her first name, or we like to use the first name in your talk you did. Basically, we're going to show that picture you did of her Facebook page, and people can figure it out. I mean, but we just asked the people out there not to go after her, because she's not really at fault here, even though, he's married. She's not, that I know of. So let's touch on a couple of things in Reddick here.
I wanted to touch on that also, that, it's not about her. Right. And the thing that I guess the way she's brought in is because of the situation, the timing, and also sometimes, a lot of times, you can see someone else's character by looking at their friends and their company as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That helps.
You've got a great deal of information on this person and a lot of back history that I want to explore with you. But let's look at Reddick real quick. And this is what drove me to this. This was one of the main posts here. Barry is taking his girlfriend to church. That's right, Suzanne's church. There doesn't seem to be any end to the disrespect of Suzanne's memory. And IMO, in my opinion, he is going to have to hustle with court filings to have a June wedding. Now, I don't know if that is what's on his mind. But I understand from watching your video that the person that we're talking about, he did bring the church, according to the information that I got from Reddick, and maybe that you had from some other place. But this person was either a housekeeper of his or in Suzanne's, or and maybe brought into the picture through an old army buddy of his.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that? How you gained that information? Not
Well,
without telling who gave it to you.
right. Well, I was first told by someone that I communicate with about the case that has a lot of good information. And then it was confirmed by another person and told me to go look at Reddit. So I had gone to look at Reddit, and then I started digging more to find the name and to find out, exactly who she is, and try to find out where does she fit in this picture.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's bad enough that we don't know the relationship between her and Barry. However, you take somebody to your church, you could be just trying to get them religion, or you could have, just all of the things are pointing like he is moving on with his life. When one of the things that I have really said is, if my wife, child, good friend was missing, I would spend every waking hour that I could out there hunting for them, not just buying trucks and buying land and spending money and being seen with different people at church.
Yeah.
From what I understand is, and you dug up a whole lot more than I did actually, that she is an interesting person, to say the least. This is another Reddit post. Says only a man who is certain that his wife is deceased is going to move on. And basically what he was saying is that he knows she's not coming back,
Right.
And of course there is a poster here, this Oscam Boom 420. I promise you, I've looked at all of his posts, and I swear he could be Barry. All of his stuff are really, really, really defensive of Barry, big time. And Barry's not parading about. He took her to church. He's replacing with the kids. Get real. Just a whole lot of stuff. Now, when we first started this channel, we did get somebody that was emailing me pretty regular, until finally I just banned them, because I asked them, "Are you Barry? You sound like Barry. You're defending him. You say things to me that tells me that either you're a very close friend to him, or you are him. If you're him, hey man, come on the channel. I'll let you talk." Exactly. But he never did. He never did. And I finally just banned him, because he got to where it was just, I don't want to argue. It's too much drama.
Yep.
Let's go back to Reddick. This one here, Daisy Smoking Daily. I have two names of his girlfriends. I'm not trying to bait anyone in saying that. I have no clue if they truly his girlfriends, so I'm not going to state them anymore. Now, there was a girl on here too that calls herself, and I'll get to it too. I've tried to contact, and basically she said, I don't talk to YouTubers, and basically just blocked me. So I don't know, but she claims she knows this person also. But you can see, Reddick is full of just people that are, this one here, Sleuth This Me. This is the one that I sent a message to try to just send me some info. And I told her, I said, I'm going to talk about this board tonight. So, wouldn't you rather just tell me and me not have to read it? But she wasn't. She says basically that his girlfriend is slender and pretty. She's like 50 years old. So, and I do have that post that you have too, that, and I do have your picture with your, I just took a screenshot so everybody will know what you look like on your post. This is her channel. Go over and look at her channel. This is one I took a screenshot. I hope you don't mind. This is the lady's Facebook page, and you can go over, and I'm sure anybody could find out just from that actually who this person is. She is a military veteran, and that may be how essence that she wound up being friends with Barry's military guy that did over 400 tours in Iraq, which
Good thinking. Good thinking.
Is not possible to do 400 years in Iraq, but 400 tours. But at the time, he said he did. So that may be where the connection is. But either way, we believe, and our opinion is that this is the girl. Now, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and name her. I think there's a bunch of people online now. We have like 146 people here. So I think that Gonzo's here. I think Gonzo probably knows who this person is. And if Dusty's here, I'm sure Dusty does too. I don't know if you followed the Draper brothers or the 231 report with Dusty, his brother, or Gonzo. If you don't, those are real great channels to turn over and follow, because they have got a lot of stuff on there, and it's really pertinent, and it's not a bunch of rumors, pretty much rumors. You want to go ahead and just kind of fill in for me what you've discovered about this person? Like I say, we don't want to name names, but you've got a lot of background.
Right. Excuse me. I'm getting a little bit of a cold here. The things that I have found out about her, and this is just by looking at the very limited information that was available and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Gosh, I hate to say this, but I said it in my video. It just seems like with her marriages, she's jumping tax brackets each time. She gets better and better with it. And now, if this is a third, it would be that next jump up from the last one, financially speaking.
Tell. That's the one thing I wanted to, and I had some notes here. You mentioned about that she had filed bankruptcy, and now she bought a house, paid cash with it or something. Can you mention about that?
What it was is the last home that was sold was paid cash for, and I narrowed it down, and I don't think that they were the owners at the time. I think they were the owners before the person that sold it for cash. But it seems that she started out modestly, and with the first marriage, it was, I guess you would call it, middle-class home, about $140,000 home, and then the divorce, and then another marriage, a $430,000 home, now a divorce. And if this is a third relationship, now we're knocking on the door of almost $2 million. It just seems like it's climbing.
Right. Another person I didn't mention, I see it here, AK. I don't know if you follow AK either. He's a good one. They're all a bunch of guys that get out here and do boots on the ground stuff that I'm not really able to do at this current time. But go into a little bit, if you would, anything that you think you want to share about her. And listen, I want to say this again, is all of this information most of it is publicly available.
Yep.
You research just publicly available information. It's not like she's got a secret source to get all this stuff. And anything that we say directed towards her or about her is purely our opinion. And we're not stating, just like I did in the front of this, that any of this is fact. If we say it's fact, it'll be fact. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. And I agree and with everything you said. Now, as far as everything else goes, it looks like her move to Salida was the earliest date that I can find right now is May of 2019. Now, that's a year after they moved there.
Right.
And
convenient.
Yep. And then she moved, to the same town. So I'm wondering if this is a girlfriend, how new is she?
Right.
She may not be as new as what people think. So, like I said, that was in 2019. But in June, I guess she had registered for her voter's card there. And then exactly a year later in June, Barry registers for his voter's card there, or a year before her. She did it exactly 1 year later. So I don't know. I've seen a lot. Also, even though it's not about her, you just want to look into the character of people. What causes a person to get so many P.O. boxes? That seems odd to me. There's a million P.O. boxes to her.
Yeah, it's getting something in the mail. I've actually changed the address a couple of times, but it's a major deal and it's a headache because you start to get all of this stuff in here, from one to the next. It's a major headache. I'm going to put a picture up here that I tried to block out. Let's see if I managed to do it. Yes, I did block out her face there. She is a very attractive woman. She for her age, and she's also reminds me a lot of Suzanne, which I kind of think that's weird. I even know. I mean, she's very slender. I mean, looks like she's athletic. Her Facebook, I noticed, has been kind of cleaned. I don't know if she's done that of recently or not. She's taken blocked her friends and most of her posts. So I don't know if that's something. It just seems kind of weird.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to bring up. Now I read an article. Let's see, I think it was in the Durango Diaries, I believe, that was talking about her being a war veteran, and it stated that she was a nurse for 26 years. I can't find any valid nursing certificates for 15 plus years. So wow. I'm wondering when that came and left, because I've had people in the comments bring that up. And so I'm curious to, know, was she a nurse this long?
Well, she was apparently worked in the Army field as a nurse, so I don't know if they have the same qualifications or if maybe somebody, I had read somewhere she was a CNA, but that wouldn't be the same thing if she's working. She was in Afghanistan, so Iraq, Afghanistan. So you're talking about probably what is that? 20 years ago now. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but it's, I mean, we've been in Afghanistan for a while. We still have troops there, in fact, but
was she a medic?
I don't know if she was a medic. She was a medic.
She was a guardsman. She was a medic.
Okay.
Yeah, I did read her a brief thing and the same thing you're talking about, and where they kind of take veterans in the area and they do a little short thing on it. And the only reason I didn't post it is there's a pretty good picture over there, and they do say her name a couple of times. Somebody asked, was she ever living in Indiana? Do you know if that was any of her past addresses or from Indiana?
I haven't seen any Indiana addresses. There's been New Mexico and Colorado, and I think there might have been one other, but it wasn't Indiana. Well, California, because that's where I guess the Social Security card was applied for. But yeah, there was a few states, but they were more on the West Coast. They weren't near Indiana.
I know you mentioned something into your video about her having some trouble with the legal troubles.
Yeah. I haven't looked into that, just for the simple fact that I thought, gosh, should I dig anymore? It's really not about her. But I did see there were, which, could have been a speeding ticket, I don't know what, but something, there were actually two charges and three. But from one of the original two came a violation of probation or parole. So that makes me wonder, is that why the nursing licenses stopped? Did they stop at that time? Go back and look. So I don't know. It just makes
yeah, I just asked that question. Somebody said, please ask if she's from Indiana. And that's what we don't know. There's no indication that she came from Indiana. One thing is, I understand that might have been associated with a domestic situation or something like that. She was going through that last. You mentioned something about she had a domestic situation with a boyfriend or whatever. Just like, go ahead.
Not Barry. Nat wants to know, is Barry being investigated still or what?
Yeah, Barry's not been, as far as we know, Barry has not been, they haven't come out and say Barry is not a person of interest or he is a person of interest.
right.
Because of the fact that an investigator with CBI, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, told Andy, Suzanne's brother, that Barry was not cooperating and he had denied taking a polygraph and a voice stress analysis, tells me that they're always looking into it. They would be looking into it. Just because they haven't arrested him doesn't mean anything. One is, we've talked about this on this program, is the new DA took over like 15th of January. And everybody I know thinks the new DA should run out and charge people. But you got to understand, these DAs are like, they have regions. They have like 4 or 5 counties. Where I live, it's big enough that DA just handles one county. But a lot of these in Tennessee and Colorado and everything, they'll do 4 or 5 counties at a time. So they've got to catch up. So I wouldn't doubt that something does happen, but I would state anything that he is being investigated. We're not saying, and we cannot say, because we don't have any real evidence that he's guilty. I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence out there.
Yeah.
Julie, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Ozzy wants to know, is this the same Jill that posted info about the funeral?
Jill, did you post info about the funeral? What funeral are you talking about?
Ozzy, what funeral are you talking about?
I don't know. He just said, is this the same Jill that posted info about the funeral? I don't know what funeral he's talking about. Have you ever posted any info about any funeral?
I bet you he's probably talking about, hang on, let me get this straight now. The funeral of the pastor's son?
Yeah, the funeral where Barry talked to the lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was? Okay. Well, that was an interesting thing. I wish I could have talked to you back there. I wish we could have got that lady on somehow to tie down to say, yes, this really happened. But a lot of times, because of the fact that nobody's been charged, that it would be maybe scary for a lot of folks. Especially they live out there close by, so that I don't know where in Kentucky you live, but you got a really bad situation up there in Barnestown. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on down in Barnestown that we all need to be looking at also. I mean, there's been an officer killed down there. There's been missing people. It's just a crazy situation. Yes, if you're going to ask a question, please put it in caps so that maybe me or my wife or one of the mods can see it. There is, and again, we're going back to, This girl has not done anything criminally wrong that I know of. This girl has not done anything wrong, period, that I know of. My problem is not with her. My problem is with Barry and the what it looks like, and how can he act like this and do these things when your wife is supposedly missing.
I would ask you, having all the experience with dealing with people in this situation, is it very typical for a husband in a similar situation to act like this and to hide and not want to jump up and down and scream, "Somebody help me find my wife, please"?
Well, I've made the point several times that I would be on the news people's door every night saying, when are you going to tell about my wife being missing, and when can I come on your program? Can I tell my story? Can we try to work this out to find her? I would be there every night. But we discussed the case, and it's not this one, I will mention it. We discussed the case of Michael Chambers. He is he was a retired firefighter that went missing, and they ruled him dead within a couple of months. His ex-wife, or his wife at the time, got him ruled dead within a couple of months. It's strange.
She cut off his cell phone.
Just
did vehicles.
Yeah, did everything. And you think,
check it out, Jill. You'll be surprised.
Wow.
You think, what in the world? I mean, what makes people act like this if they're really concerned about their husband or wife being missing? I mean, it's crazy. But I think that everybody is concerned with the fact that he's moved on so quick. And I know a year, everybody says a year is not much, but
it hasn't been a year.
It hasn't been a year. He's been it was May the 10th, wasn't it?
It was Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. And the fact is that somebody here on Reddit's talking about him wanting to get married. If that's the case, how can you do that if you're saying your wife has been abducted? Or, how can you do that? I mean, unless she's not coming back.
I was getting ready to say, in my opinion,
there's people that are families that have missing people out there that have never moved. There's a little boy or a girl went missing in Nashville. We covered it a couple of weeks ago, that his parents never moved from the Nashville house, just in case he wants to come back.
Yeah. Well, if you look at some people in the past, bigger cases that tried to sell their house, you go to Chris Watts, Scott Peterson, Joshua Powell. I mean, there's quite a few that have done the same thing. I don't know if they're backed into the same corner and felt they're only left with so many choices, and that's why they end up doing the same thing and leaving the same trail. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. Everybody's asking, post her picture. I don't know.
Post.
You said something that you were going to post a picture.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what your
and also, do you know when he
post,
moved on?
Where he lives?
When he moved on?
I think there's people we don't know. We're guessing that this is the only picture that I'm going to post. I'm going to she has got a Facebook page, and I'll post the other one that you posted, the Facebook page. I'm sure they could figure it out from that page. We have blotted out the face and the name, but this is from Jill's page there. And I think, you can pretty much figure it out if you go there probably from her first name, who it is, but you will be big time disappointed because there's just nothing on Facebook, and their friends are blocked out. So, it's not like you're going to find out who this person is and find any breaking information, because it's just not going to do it. She's around 50 years old. She's a very attractive woman, and she looks a lot like Suzanne.
David wants to see Suzanne's picture. I think David's just joining.
All right, let me go up here, and you can see Suzanne's picture.
This is beautiful.
Right. She's a beautiful girl. I mean, you know, she's young. She does not look her age at 49. And she's very athletic. She's got two beautiful daughters and that's another thing. How can the daughters be okay with this? You know, how can they be okay with their father dating if he is dating and if he did bring somebody to church? And this is now I've heard a lot of people say, well, just because he brings somebody to church does not mean anything. And you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
But the appearance.
Show some more of the pictures of her.
I don't have any more right on my computer pulled up.
Hotel room?
No, I don't.
All right.
This is her, and you can go online and there's hundreds of them out there of pictures of her and her daughter. She's a very attractive woman. And I'll say this too. You know, I was never impressed by this big $200,000 reward, because if you know where she's at and you know they're not going to find her, I could post $100 million reward.
Right.
That makes no difference to me. And in fact, the higher you go, and what he did, you know, they asked him to come together with law enforcement and do a press conference and a bunch of stuff. This is what I understand. And, you know, he didn't want to do it. In fact, he told Dr. Phil asked him to come on the program, and he said it was too soon. Yet he puts like a 25-second message out that he filmed himself. And, you know,
it's too soon, but it's not too soon to sell her vehicle a couple months after she's gone. It's not too soon to put the house up for sale within months after she's gone. I don't understand that logic.
Yeah. And also the fact is that, you know, I know if you look at, you've been studying body language, and body language is huge. And in that video, he shakes his head no the whole time. I mean, it's almost involuntary. And I watched the Tyson Draper film when Tyson talked to him on the side of the road. He wasn't shaking his head. Now, some people, when you talk to them, they'll shake their head like this all the time. It's some type of maybe disease, something physically wrong with them. But he does, you know, Suzanne, we want you back. We want to find you. Come on, man.
Jill, did you find anything on Trevor Noel?
When you were looking, did you discover anything on Trevor Noel?
I haven't looked real deep into Trevor Noel. Now that's the nephew, correct?
I think it is his nephew, yes.
Yeah, I have not looked too deep into him, because it seems like from the beginning he backed off real quick. He started out of the gates pretty hard and pretty strong, but he backed off real quick. And I know there's a reason. I just don't know what. He went radio silent.
Yeah, I know. I think he's the one that started the GoFundMe page, and then all of a sudden, boof, he is like, nobody's talking. I don't know if there was some interaction with law enforcement or what. It's difficult to say. Somebody said, "Why not girls? I talked to my mom and fought for her." Julie, yeah, you know, I think the girls are being protected by Barry. He doesn't want them involved in the news media and all of this stuff in like with YouTubers and everything. And I understand that. I do.
Okay. Gonzo says, we have been trying to keep the integrity of all these people kind of quiet for well over a month so we can continue the groundwork. It's been under wraps for a while. The integrity of the investigation is key.
I agree, Gonzo. I agree. And that's why I say Gonzo, AK, Tyson Brothers, Dusty there with the 321 report. These are people that I look at to say, hey, you know, if he says it, I know it's true. You know, I'm not going to have to worry about, well, I'm going to have to go out and run something down, find out if they just ran their mouth about something. You're exactly right. But Gonzo, I felt like at this time, there's so much stuff out there on the internet talking about this situation that we need to keep Suzanne in the forefront. We need to keep her name out there. We need to get people keep talking about it, because if you don't watch it, it'll be a cold case very soon. I mean, you're talking about it's almost a year. It's what, 9 months? So it'd be easy enough for it to be on the back burner. So when this information came up, I did feel like that, we need to at least get it out. One thing is, and a thing that they said on Reddit a lot is, if it's true, why not have somebody take a picture of them together? Well, I mean, we're not trying to prove beyond a reasonable doubt if it's true. We're telling you the information we have gathered, and let everybody be their own judge and jury. I hope in the coming days that if they are out together and they're walking around, somebody does take a picture, because, well, I just can't, for me, it's beyond me how quick people move on when it's bad enough if their spouse dies. Sometimes a spouse dies within a year they're married. I mean, I couldn't do that, but if somebody else did that, I'm not going to say anything about it because they're truly dead. That. But somebody's missing. You don't know what happens if he does get married and Suzanne shows up, because he's saying that he doesn't know where she's at.
I brought that up in one of my videos. My question was, and this has been months ago, this is after the car was sold, the house was put up for sale, and he moved to Poncha Springs. My question was, what if she were to come back home today? She would have to have an Uber or a taxi take her to her home that had been rented out for the week as an Airbnb, and wait until they got out of her bed so she could go to bed in her own home. It's just so far crazy fetch to me that I don't understand how he wants us to believe some of that. And someone in here made a point. She said, I'm sure Barry likes it kept quiet too. And that's true. If you listen to him on Tyson's video, I've seen that video that he got of him that he didn't know back in the beginning. And I thought it was very interesting that what he had said to him. He told him that, in other words, they were keeping it quiet because it was a private matter. Now, how in the world and why? Why is it a private matter?
Yeah, it's not a private matter. And, I'm sure that Andy, Suzanne's brother, doesn't think it's a private matter. I think that a lot of times, a lot of these people, just like on Reddit itself, there's a person on there that I honestly believe is Barry. I really do, because the way they talk and defend him, and a lot of just stupid defenses that I've read, is because we've got to keep her name out there, got to keep this investigation in the limelight. I'm not every night that we come on, and we're on 3 nights a week. Every night that we come on, we bring up Susan and show the poster every single night. And I'm not going to stop doing that unless I get a court order to stop doing that.
Good.
And I don't think I will. We can express our opinion. And if he wants to take me to court and sue me over it, come on. Because I got a lawyer that is my best friend. And he said, come on. And the thing is, he doesn't want to do that because, one, I'm expressing my opinion. And two, he doesn't, in a civil case, they have to answer questions. It's not like a criminal case, they take the fifth. Civil case, they got to answer derogatories. He doesn't want to do that.
Right.
But we're going to keep on keeping on. I think there's a group of guys, and like I mentioned before, AK, Gonzo, Draper Brothers, that are keeping on. They're going to keep on this thing. They're not going to let it lie down and be forgotten about. And I think if we ever do, then what are we saying to everybody else, that just because it's forgot about, we're supposed to forget about it? I don't think so. I'm still of the opinion, of the law enforcement opinion, that somebody, I can't say him, but somebody is going to be charged in this. I look for it this year, just because you have a new DA that does not have the restrictions that the old DA had, and they were going out. Martin Smallwood says Barry has sold property, but put their home on an Airbnb, back at the gym, treating himself to new boy toys. It looks like he's moved on. And why? Yeah, I agree. He looks like he's moved on. And somebody had even said, and we said this person may have been here, their housekeeper. That's the information that I first got. I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody mentioned here, well, I believe they met at the gym. I don't think that's where it was, met at the gym. They could have.
If she was a housekeeper, she's very pretty.
Yeah, the housekeeper is well.
Yeah, that, maybe
Suzanne found out about something going on.
Very well could have been. I mean, I've always said that I think in this, everybody wanted to know. Yeah, I agree, Ozzy. He knows, or that it's not coming back. Here's been my opinion, Jill, of this, and see if it lines up with anything. My opinion of this, the way this happened, is she was texting her good friend about a wedding. All of a sudden, the text stopped. Whatever happened to Suzanne happened inside that house the night before she was reported missing. That's my opinion. It just looks like, it very well. One thing is, I don't never believe she ever got on the bicycle. The bicycle was brought into the conversation by Barry, not anybody else. The neighbor wouldn't have known anything about the bicycle, because Barry brought it into the situation. So I believe whatever happened at the house. And it was maybe, I've heard all kinds of there's rumors out there that maybe something was discovered. He got angry, but he obviously has a temper, because we know from one other guy that we interviewed said that he was assaulted by Barry at a work site, where he basically belly bumped him over a work site, pushed him. He said this on camera, and we have it on had it on tape. So, obviously some temper there, something going on anyway.
And if you look at the first moves that he started making right after she went missing, they're very telling too. These financial moves that are made.
Oh yeah, I agree. One thing is, if you're taking other women to church, why are you putting your house up as Airbnb? Right. I understand that somebody said, I read somewhere, well, the daughters don't want to live there. They're scared to live there. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know where he's living now. There's been all kinds of rumors about where he is living. But I think that what I would love to have is somebody that actually lives in Salida, goes to church with him out there, that could send us an email. I've got my email there, the missinglivestream@gmail.com. And just confidentially, I won't say your name on the air, but tell me how they look together. Did they look like they were a couple? Did they look like they were just friends? They look like he was trying to get somebody saved? Does it look like, you can tell. You can tell, but somebody's sitting with somebody, how they act if they're familiar with them.
Right. Yep.
And I would love to have that information. I don't know that that we will ever get, but maybe someone out there, I know this is a pretty big church, and maybe somebody feels like we do, that this is just not kosher. And I say that to me, I don't know. I was raised in the Southeast and in Alabama and Southern Alabama. And in Alabama, we do not, in the southern states, they tend to be a little bit more, you're in Kentucky, tend to be a little bit more of a, if your relative is missing, whether it's your son, daughter, wife, or whatever, and I'm not talking about, they're dead, but they're missing, you don't go out and start dating people until you find out what happened to them.
Right.
Or it's a long time. They're declared dead, 7 years, whatever it is.
That's it. The fact that he has the want to, it just screams a lot to me. He doesn't have that inner feeling of missing and letting people know, hey, my wife's gone, I miss her, please, we got to find her.
Well, like I said, I think AK and a bunch of these guys, Gonzo and Draper Brothers, have all said, hey, if it was our kinfolk, even our best friend, I would be in front of the news every time they let me talk to say, hey, guys, I need some help in finding my wife, or I need some help in finding this person. And look, here's my phone. I'll take a polygraph. I'll do everything. And as we talked about a polygraph, and a lot of people have different opinions of polygraph. I've taken 5 or 6 of them for jobs and for clearances and stuff like that. And I even did it in front of the police academy to show them how a polygraph shows you're lying. And here's the thing it does. It will let you eliminate suspects. If you have a husband that is in a situation like this, Barry could come in and take a polygraph. Say he fell on a polygraph. Then you give him a voice analysis, and if he flunks that, then you can compare the two and say, okay, he flunked that and he flunked that too. Then we got something to talk to him. That's how they did with what's his name that killed his kids and his wife. I can't
Watts.
Thing.
Chris Watts. Question for Jill. Jill, did you get the girlfriend's background check info right? The background check?
Yeah, I put it up. I screenshotted it and put it up.
Okay, somebody asked.
Yeah. I put it up.
And people need to go over and watch her YouTube video. It's very good. That I do not get people on here with me, Jill, that I don't feel like do their due diligence. That's, I'm not going to get somebody on here that I believe is completely insane. Or they're just talking, they're just talking out here. I want to know they do their due diligence and they're not just making stuff up to get views. Clickbait, as they call it. So I did watch your video. I feel like you're on the right track. I hope everybody will go over and subscribe to your channel. I think you're doing a good job.
Tell them to look into the fireman.
Go over to and look up Michael Chambers. See what you think. What you think.
Yeah.
Michael Chambers. Send me an email. And keep up with me on email. We may do something again in the future. I do appreciate you coming on tonight. Has anybody got any more questions for her before we get off here? Because I think we've got another YouTuber behind us here in about a couple of minutes that I don't want to step on their toes.
Do you mind if I bring something up, since there's people in here that get into this stuff, look into it?
Sure.
A good friend of mine, her grandmother, went missing in 1983, February of 1983, in Ashland, Kentucky. And it's been a cold case. There's been a hand found. They haven't been able to identify the DNA to say whose hand it is between her and another woman. And we're just trying to get more eyes on the case and to see how many people we can get looking into it and bring information to it. Her name is Dixie Barker. And like I said, she went missing in Ashland, Kentucky in February of 1983. And
I tell you what, too, if you will send me an email on that, I'll look into that, too. My wife, Dina's got it also. And keep up with me, and maybe we can do something, maybe even that, if we can put our heads together. Also, check out, like I said, check out the Draper Brothers. Dusty has a 321 report, AK, Gonzo does one, and we do follow Plunder also, but there's some out there that some stuff out there about everything that's out there, but I try to stand by people that are looking for the facts and not just for clickbait. And I think you've done a great job. And we do appreciate you coming on tonight. I've had several people in here that have said that they do appreciate you coming on tonight, and hopefully we can have you back. And maybe your channel will grow. I know I sat there below 5,000 for like 3 months, was within 5 people of 5,000, and we just crossed over last week. So you do grow. So, but it does take that.
Thank you very much for having me on. And I truly enjoyed it. And it was nice meeting you and your wife. And I look forward to communicating with you in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And we do appreciate it, like you coming on. And if I have some other questions, I'll email you and do the same.
Thank you so much. Good night, guys.
Okay. Good night. Okay, well, that was great. I think that was good information. Like I said, I don't think she was just doing it for clickbait. I really do. I looked at her channel. Now, a couple of other things I do want to bring up, like we usually do it at the front, but I did want to hold her in the back here. Let me get Dina back up.
No, that's okay. Don't put me back.
That's all right. You're up here.
I don't.
This one here out of Somerton, Arizona, 10 bodies were found in a mass grave in Rocky Point, bring the total to 58 bodies. 58 bodies. Rocky Point is just an hour south of the U.S. border. That is crazy, but that is actually Mexico for you.
That's also November 10th, 2019.
Right, but still, that happens every day down there. This was a picture of the dig. I mean, they were just like everywhere. You can see the guy standing up the hole. Apparently, they really buried these people.
It could have been one of those. They said they had a hole with lions in it that they threw people into. It could have been that, and they just covered it up.
Yeah.
That's
21 missing teens were found in a massive youth prostitution sting in Winnipeg, Canada. That is good work up there on their case, but man, 21 missing teens involved in that. We've talked about that. We've talked about teens being pulled into stuff. This one I got here is my sister, Mary Davis, is still out there, unknown where she's at. Family and friends are trying to hold it together to find her. She's 5'6", 5'7", brown hair, weighs 110. She's will be turning 40 in August. She is last seen on Fire Trail Road in Marysville, Washington. To all our friends and family, try to stay positive. So I don't know when she came up missing. I just saw the post and I wanted to pull it up and tell everybody about it. We'll try to look at that in the future. Another one here, this gentleman here, from June of 2019, my brother Robert's been missing since then. We're the family just need closure. So they understand. Farmington PD, I don't know, like I said, I apologize for not getting all the information on that.
Those are the ones I sent you off of the American Indigenous People page.
Right. And I wanted to post these couple of things here. One is Milwaukee News. Human trafficking says that human trafficking is a $150 billion industry. Ages 11 through 14, highly recruited. So that's what we need to look at it too, is the runaways out there that turn up missing or somebody's just missing. They say they're probably involved in human trafficking. And then, of course, Greyhound has just started offering rides home for runaways between 12 and 21 years old. So free home ride home. So that's a good thing that Greyhound has stepped up and is doing something to help cases of runaway teens. So anyway, we do appreciate everybody coming out tonight,
Yes, we do.
and we do appreciate Jill for coming out, and hopefully Gonzo and AK and the Draper brothers, Dusty, will keep all of this stuff alive with the Morphews, and maybe we can actually put some heat in the right spots to solve the cases. I wanted, there was something else I wanted to say here.
You better hurry because you're 6 minutes over.
Yeah, this was that one on the girl said about the two girlfriends.
Now the picture of the that's what I was going to take. The picture of the snow angels.
I did not do that.
Oh.
I didn't copy it. We'll do that on Tuesday. We'll get that done. Any questions that you have that we need to address before we go?
I can send them in an email.
Send them an email. We'll try to address them. Anybody got something they want to ask, talk about? Go over to Dina's Facebook page. I mean, not Facebook page, but YouTube page. It's Medina's Kitchen, and that video is just raw. It's no starting on it, no ending this, nothing. But it tells, she just makes our juice that we are trying to drink during this juice fast, day one. And go over and watch it. And it's very interesting, to say the very least. We will try to, if you go to our community page, it's there. So you can go to the page.
Say a prayer for us. We've had 2 people contact us that are coming to look at our house tomorrow.
Right. So we may have sold it the first day.
We may have sold it before we put the sign out about 4 hours ago, and one guy said he's ready with cash.
Sydney. Wow. Good morning from Sydney. I don't know what time it is over there. It's 8:08 here, Central Time in the United States. Okay, well, I don't want to hold somebody else up if there is another. I got 128 people still in the place, but
125. I told you that was 212. They're dropping like flies. They're going over to see Tyson.
Tyson is, somebody said Tyson's on, so we want to give him the respect to not butt into his channel. So
1 p.m. Sydney time.
Wow.
1:17. You better hurry. You're going to end up nobody going to be talking to the air.
Yeah. Okay. Well, y'all come back and see us on Tuesday. Hopefully everything will be here and be great. And we're going to play our little dog video on the way out. And we love you. God bless all of y'all.
Thanks.
And just send us an email if you have a question or something you want us to cover. God bless you. What did I do?
Go get wood. Go get wood. Come on. Get the wood. Bring it here, Maggie. Bring it here. Good girl. Let's load it in the fire. Good girl. Look at you. Man, can you take it in the house? Come on. Take it in the house. Come on. Bring it in. Oh, almost. Can you get it? Can you get it? Bring it in. Get your wood and bring it in. Jojo won't leave you alone. Get your wood and bring it in. Get the wood. No, Jojo's.